Hey guys, so now we're on to day 3, which is going to be assembling the front pocket. Okay, so your first one needs to be so again, if you're using zipper tape, just cut it to 14th and 5/8 if you're doing the small, or 19 if you're doing the big. And if you're using a regular zipper, again, you're going to measure it out to exactly 14 and 5/8, but I recommend cutting from both ends so that your zipper stops are gone. So there's no potential of you potentially hitting them when you sew these down, okay? So what you're going to do is take your zipper tape you had, right? It was long like this. And you're going to fold it in half. Well, you're going to fold it in half, iron it down, and then you're going to fold the two things to where it matches in the middle, and then you're just gonna iron it and then fold it again, and this creates your zipper tab. So what you're gonna do is place your zipper tab inside, or your zipper inside of your zipper tab, like so. I don't like to run mine all the way up, but you can. I'm pretty sure this one doesn't say. Oh, actually it says, yeah, halfway into your zipper tape. Some of them will tell you to run it all the way up. Some is just a little bit. Just make sure that you do have it at least halfway, so there's no potential of it coming out. And you're gonna do this for both sides. So this other side, where you have your thing, again, you can do we talked about yesterday, how you can run a stitch right here if you so desire, across right here to keep it together, or you can just kind of make sure that it stays together. Your zipper tape's a little bigger than you actually need it, so as long as you start on one end, you should be all right. Again, halfway up your zipper tape. All right. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take a little longer stitch, and you're just going to stitch right along here, pretty much locking your zipper into your zipper tape, your zipper tab, locking your zipper into your zipper tab. So go ahead and do that, and then come on back. Okay, so now you should have a zipper thingy like this. Your tabs will probably be a little big, so just trim them up so that they match your zipper. Especially if like you were using a 3 zipper or such. This one is just a tad bit, so not a whole lot is it off. I'm just gonna kind of match them up so that they're even now, like so. Pretty, right? Woo. Now what you're going to do is take your front piece right here, and you are going to match these. And make sure when you do this with your zipper that your zipper is up. So a lot of times I like to do it with it zipped up so that I know where it is. You want your zipper pull to be at the top, okay? And basically, and if you end up having a little extra zipper tape or zipper tab along the thing, it's fine. So you're going to take it and you're going to match right size to right size along your front piece, okay? Along this curve, or along your straighter curve. And you just kind of, again, people use Wonder Tape, etc. To hold your zipper in place. I just kind of pin mine and then sew a little slower. It's about perfect. All right, sweet. They should match end to end pretty perfectly. I just clip a decent amount, kind of like if you were doing Minky, because it's not straight. It's not exactly straight up and down. So you see mine, and you're gonna do it a 1/4 inch, so 1/4. I'm probably gonna take mine a little more than that, but not quite a half. Only because, like I said, I like my zipper tape to be a little, or my zipper to be a little closer to my edges. So go ahead and just sew this up a 1/4 inch up your zipper. Make sure you try to keep your zipper and your edges aligned, because if you're not, and then you do it on one part and not the other, your zipper will look a little wonky. Okay, so go ahead and do that and come on back. Okay, so it should be on here like this, as you see. And I didn't, so it's a little harder for me to show you when I'm sewing. But as you're zipping, so you see how it's down like this, right? And you're sewing, and this is going to be really close to your edge. I mean, if you have a bigger gap, or it was a little harder with the, I did end up taking it about a half. What you will do is, when you're sewing, you pull your zipper down a little bit. Sew right here. Put your needle down into your machine, and then pull it back up, and then pivot back out, and then continue sewing so it's out of your way. Okay, if I get a chance, I will see if I can try taking a video of that on like a scrap piece, and you can see what I'm talking about. But I don't want to mess up the middle of the video. So what you're going to do now is you're going to take your lining piece, and you're going to match these up right side to right side of your fabric, but it's technically the wrong side of the zipper. Okay, and you're going to match these up like so. Again, same concept, you're just matching them up. Try to make sure that all your corners match evenly. Mine was off a little bit when I first started pinning. Because when you flip this, you want this obviously to match up. So again, just pin. So okay, so you have two choices. You can then just sew down this side. What I do is I will sew it along the other side. You can see like where I started at a 1/4, and I decided I didn't like that, so I ended up taking it in more. The cool thing about this kind of stuff is when you see this, you won't see this on the outside. It doesn't make a difference, as you saw. And what you do is you're just going to sew right along that same stitch you made before, all the way down. So you're just going to stitch right on top of the stitch you already made. And that I find is the easiest, only because then you're not having to, and you don't have to worry about where your zipper is. But you totally could do it along this prong, the other side too. And so you're going ahead and sew that down and come on back. Okay, and then once you do that, you'll see, so obviously it was like this. So now you're going to turn it like so. Pull this tight and taut. Okay, so you want to make sure that if you don't, and you have too much when you top stitch down, your zipper will sometimes get stuck. So just make sure that you kind of pull it so it's all the way over. You pin it down. You don't have to pin or clip this. I just do so that it's all matched up. Okay. So now my front side and my back side are all matched up. Now what you're going to do is you're going to go top stitch right here all the way down, okay, along. Now if you have any part, I only have this little corner right here, if y'all can see it, where when I basted my foam down, it didn't go into my seam allowance, which is fine. Just take your seam ripper, and obviously hopefully they were loose enough, and you should be able just to pull them right out. It's just to keep the foam in place while you're doing all of this, to make sure that it's right up against where it needs to be. And occasionally just off a little bit when you cut the foam, or when you basted the foam down. So just go ahead and take it out, okay? And go ahead and go and top stitch. See, now it's just gone. You don't even see it anymore. Top stitch that down, okay? And there you go. You can see it's top stitch down. I will tell you, I'm using black on both my bobbin. Oopsies. On both my regular thread and my bobbin, but on other ones I've used, I will match the bobbin to match whatever is back here. But this is pretty dark, and so I went ahead and just stuck with black. But just to let you know that I definitely have used 2 different thread colors, and when you can honestly leave it that way, and when you're sewing together, when the right side is the right side, you don't see them anyway, so it's only really from when you got to top stitch stuff. So just to let you know. So what you're going to do now is take, so this guy right here, okay? Here's your foam piece. You should have had it, you should have cut it out. If you didn't do that, it's fine. You can do it now. So for this one, right, you're going to take your piece we talked about that had the cutout, right, the cutout to it, and you're going to place it on the wrong side of your piece, like so, and you're going to use your marker or whatever and draw a line. Okay, you see the line? I don't actually remember if this is how the steps tell you to do it. This is just when I do it because I feel like it's easier. So what you're going to do is you're going to run a stitch, a really loose basting stitch, all the way down this side and then curve it around. Okay, you can do that when you take this over there for the next step. It's not a big deal when you do it. You can do it even when it's attached to the thing. I just like to do it before. But again, make sure your foam is not in this little block area, okay? So you're just gonna run a little basting stitch. It just helps whenever you fold this down and then in for the other zipper, okay? So you're going to match this guy up to your zipper. This one's a little harder, right? Because it's very curvy. So it's okay if you bend it a little bit. I promise you it will warp itself back. You're going to, again, match it starting at your zipper tab all the way down. Right sides against right sides. Perfect. I love when it's perfect. Okay, and then again, you're just gonna sew right along the zipper, lining these things up. So again, if your zipper is in your way, when you start, pull it out of your way, sew right here. You can, even if you can't put your needle down and pivot, you can back stitch a little bit, pull your fabric out, pull your zipper back up, and then go back to where you were before, and then continue stitching down. It just moves the zipper out of the way so that you can sew things up, okay? So go ahead and do that and come on back. Okay, so now it should be attached like so, and then you can kind of look how everything is lined up. You know, my zipper tab right here is a little over, but that's okay. Later on, or right now, well, it's only because I picked up my scissors. Oh crap. You can just trim it, okay? So you see how everything is lining up. So all you're gonna, and again, I ran my stitch down, as you see it, right around here. And you're gonna do it the exact same thing for this. The reason I like to do it right here is so that I can look at it and know where the foam is when I do it on the other side. So make sure that you hold this down, and then you're going to same thing. Oopsies, line these up together, okay? Why am I struggling right now? had a brain fart moment. Okay, anyway, guys. Oh man, see, you know how we talked about making sure. No, I did. Do it the right way. That you cut them the right way or whatever. There we go. There we go. Woo! Anyway, so this one's going to be a little weirder, right? Because you have to sandwich all of this in between to get these to line up with the zipper, okay? And so now you're just going to match it up. Even I've made this bag probably like 5 times, and every time sometimes I'm like, did I do that right? But anyway, you're going to again match these up like so with the zipper sandwiched in between. And again, you can run it along this side, or like I did, what I did on the other side, you can just match it up with this all the way down, okay? So go ahead and do that now and come back. So, same thing like you did on the other side, you're just going to go ahead and top stitch this down, okay? And pull it all tight, so then this should be your front piece. And then we'll move on to adding that other zipper, okay? Hold on, be back. Oh, go top stitch and come back. Okay, so now this guy should be all done. Give your zipper a test pull, right? Just in case you didn't pull this as tight as you could on this side. Sometimes if you have too much overhang, your zipper will get stuck. So go ahead and do that. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take your back exterior piece and you're going to put it down. It doesn't matter which way, up, right side, or all you're doing basically is measuring your guide. And you're going to put it against the back one. And all you're doing is making sure that your pieces, like sometimes you have a little bit of overhang here or there, whatever, are the same size. Okay? If they're not, make sure that you pull this, because this is the back. Mine are the same, so that's good. But occasionally you'll have a little bit of overlap, usually on the side. Make sure you line it up on your right side, so left side facing you, but when it's laying down, make sure that the right side's all matched up. And if there's a little bit of overhang on your other one on the left side, go ahead and trim that off. If even matched up, there's a little bit of overhang on your right side, that's fine. But you want to make sure that it's all even on that side first, not equally cutting off the same amount on both sides, okay? There we go. So they should match up. Once you do that, go ahead and just put this to the side, okay? This is the next kind of tricky part. It's not super tricky, but it's a little tricky. And what you're going to do is, when you're going to use this, right? Using the marking line on your thing, you are going to mark, like we did, yeah, the wrong side of the exterior panel A, which we did already. And that's why I said it's a little easier when you do it first than when you do it the other way. And then what you're going to do, turn both lines. See, this, I always have to read this because this part is a little tricky. Turn both panels with zippers over. So, when it says zippers, it basically means you need to use these two. Okay? These two guys right here. With zippers over so the shape flex is facing you. Obviously, you can't turn this over where it's facing you. This is now facing me. And what you're going to do is you're going to, again, same thing you did earlier, line this up so that you're going to draw, oh, is that my right one? Yes, okay. The stitch line, okay? You're going to draw that line wherever my marker went. There it is. I kind of sloppy marker it because I'm holding this at the same time, but you'll see now it's drawn right here. Oopsies. So you're going to mark the left side, okay? The left side of this one. And I think the only reason else you mark this one is just so that you know. And if your zipper, your pocket is in the way, just go ahead and move it slightly out of the way, okay? And then go ahead and draw your lines like you did before. And this is why I don't particularly like putting the pocket in the other side, because sometimes it can get a little tricky. You go right against that zipper when you do the line, okay? So these are the ones with your zippers. This one doesn't have your zipper, but I always know because it's the one I put this piece on. If you didn't put anything, it honestly doesn't matter, okay? Now you're going to take your other one without the zipper or pocket piece or whatever, and you're going to lay it against the right side. So it's the opposite side, okay? Oops. And I'll hold these all up so you can all see them. Again, the line's kind of a guideline, so if it's kind of sloppy, it's not a huge deal, okay? So now you should have one that's like this, and then your other two should be facing the other direction, okay? Right. Now, next thing you're going to do is you're going to match the one with the slip pocket, so this guy, right? You're going to match it up with this. You're going to match these up, okay? Oops. Guess I should do it the right way. Yes. So you're going to match them up interior against interior, okay? There's not really a wrong side and a right side of your thing. And so now what you're going to do is you're going to sew that along this line you did. So that's why you need to do and only to these two, okay? You're not going to sew it down to the exterior. Push the exterior out of the way. You can also draw the line on this one if you so desire. But honestly, it doesn't particularly matter. You just need it on the one side, okay? And then just go ahead and pin that. And then once you cut this, do not cut your seam allowance. It does tell you when and eventually you can cut down one of your seam allowance on this one, but do not cut it down yet, okay? And so now you're just going to take a stitch and you're going to stitch here and all the way up, okay? Following that line on both sides. Again, do not sew the exterior, okay? It is just like this. Just fold it back out of your way, because what this is going to do is going to create your pocket for your other one. So eventually it'll go like so, okay? So go ahead and go sew that down now. Hopefully that made sense when I did it. If it didn't, please ask questions. Again, this is usually the trickier part. I've had to watch a video a couple times to do it, and so that's why I was pretty sure of how to do it, but you know, you always second guess yourself. So again, make sure that your one with your slip pocket is the one going against this, and your slip pocket line should have been on the left, okay? Ones with zippers, left. One without zipper, right, okay? Go ahead and sew that down. Okay, so now your piece should be stitched down like so, right? And then if you open it up, it looks like this. At least I hope that's what it looks like. And if obviously you had a zipper, it would be right here, okay? Now what you're going to do is you're going to, again, fold your exterior out of the way, okay? And then you're going to place your other one without anything, without a zipper, so just your main panel, and then you're going to match it up. So it looks a little weird, okay? So here's the front, okay? So you're matching up those lines we made, the little curvy lines, together, all right? Oh, I don't have any clips over here. And again, same thing. You're going to sew along that curve right here. Again, you can do it on this opposite side, but that's basically why it's on this side too, is that they should relatively match up together, okay? I like to then press them all together because you can see where the other one is. Yeah, because you can see this one's down a little more where the purple one is versus my first one. So sometimes when you're drawing the lines like that, just be careful. But like this purple line matches better than my blue one did, which is fine. I'll just start there, and then I just kind of feel along to make sure that they're all relatively really close to where they should be, okay? So go ahead and do that now. Again, you put the wrong side of your main piece is lining against the right side of your pocketless, nothing on it lining piece, okay? So I hope that makes sense what I'm doing here. And then you're going to sew along that line, okay? So go ahead and do that and come back. Okay, so now this is all your pieces together. Again, you did not sew the exterior. Do not sew the exterior. And obviously it looks kind of crazy right now, right? So just make sure you lay it all down. Again, making sure not to catch anything else. You're going to cut this seam allowance, okay? To about 1/4 of an inch. Or 1/4 of an inch, sorry. 1/4 of an inch. I mean, you can measure it out, or you can just guesstimate or whatever. Usually I just kind of guesstimate. You also could use pinking shears, because you want to then cut like little into the curves. I don't know where my other, there. In the curve of the thing, because you want this obviously to turn. If it's a little thick, just trim a little more. But now you're just going to fold this back one to where now it makes a U. You see how I'm making a U? And then it'll line up with this one. And so you want to go ahead and pin that down. Or clip it down, however you decide to do it. Just try to make sure that, you know, your little curved edge here. I don't think I clipped them up. There it goes. You know, you're gonna have to push it a little bit because obviously you want it to create this curved edge for you. And they should relatively match up with my front one. You see where my front one is? Well, you can't really see it, but you see where my little line is? It's basically where I want that to match up. So that your other zipper can sit in there. Again, if you need to take some more out of the seam allowance, of your lining only, go ahead and do that. That is perfectly fine. But you want to make sure that these are as good as possible because you are going to eventually sew it down. Like I think I didn't trim mine enough. It's a little bulky. Comparatively to my curve is not as bulky. Just be careful and don't take too much. And I just like to give it a good tug here to make sure that none of my pieces are not sewed together. There we go. Now, let's try it and flip it like we were doing. Oh yeah, much better. You don't want this to be super bulky because you're going to have to sew through this, your zipper, and the exterior. So you want to make sure that you give yourself enough that doesn't mess up your machine or anything like that. Or snap a needle, which I have definitely done. Okay. There we go. So now it should look like this. So here's your exterior and then your interior. And if it's off a little bit, it's not a huge deal. You just kind of gonna push it because this is gonna fold down. So you kind of want that, like it's gonna fold in like this. Okay. It's gonna fold in and match up like that. So that's good. Okay, so now moving on to the next step, you are going to take your neck zipper, and this one is going to be 12 3/4, okay? Let me go ahead and pause this so you don't have to watch me put on zipper tape. Okay, sorry, I forgot to put my other pull on there and I didn't think you'll want to watch me struggle doing that. Anyway, so now this one, if you're using the small, is 12 3/4. That's how much you want to measure your zipper to. If it is a large, it says 16 1/2. Okay. Make sure again you're gonna put your zipper tab on it. Make sure that your pull is going up. Okay. You want it to be on the up one. That's where you want your tab to be, because this is going to go towards the top of your bag. The bottom part will be hidden and zipped and sewed in to the bottom part of your bag, so you don't need a zipper tab down there. Okay, so go ahead and just like you did the other ones and sew straight across and then come on back.